Something spooky is around the corner. That's right, the spooky season is at hand. Is it a goddamn Dracula? It's even spookier than that. Possibly even a race war. The time is now 8:32. It is October 28th. This is Def Not Left. I am your host, Jeff Not Left. I want to thank you for joining us. We are live only on Rumble. Why would I mess with YouTube or pretty much any other platform that doesn't let you say whatever the hell you want? I'm coming to you from my humble studio in the humble south suburbs of Chicago, with internet being injected intravenously directly into my computer, guaranteeing zero drops. This is a new era for Def Not Left. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me. We have a special show for you tonight, guys. Excuse me. That's just what I was about to talk about. I did it again. Now that we have a stable stream, and now that I do not have to spend hours per day trying to figure out how to work this. I have stress acne at the age of 38 for trying to figure this out by myself because I'm a stubborn asshole, and I don't want Barack Obama coming by in a couple of years saying, "Hey, you didn't build that." So now that we've got all that sorted out in episode 18, we are aiming to increase the quality here. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I went back and watched a couple episodes to see what it's like to be a viewer. And one thing that I noticed is that I say a lot. So I am going to make a conscious effort to not do that. And also, like I said, we're on Rumble, and you can say whatever you want. So that means swearing is fine, obviously. But casual and wanton swearing make you sound a little bit dumb. And that's the last thing that we need, and that's the last thing that we are here. My dog has broken into the room. He does not like it when doors are closed. Hello, Coda. Go lay down, Bubby. All right. So, that is the update there. It's just a habit. I'm noticing myself do it. I'm going to, son of a bitch. All right, so we're going to keep it, I think, to 2 guaranteed shows per week. We're going to have our Saturday show that we have every single Saturday, and we're going to have a show on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think I like 8:30. I got home at 4 o'clock today from my blue-collar job. I sat down with the computer. I already had a lot of the assets that you're going to see tonight loaded in emails and stuff, and I found a few more when I was home. Then I had to stage them all, including the pictures and videos, get them all in the order that I want them for the show to flow, and here we are. I finished that about 20 minutes ago. As you can see, it takes a lot of time to prepare all this. I like doing it, but because of the nature of my 40-hour-a-week plus job, I think 2 quality shows is what I can bring you per week for sure. We will do Fuck Around Fridays, depending on how I feel that day, basically. I'll let you know by Tuesday afternoon whether it's going to be a Tuesday show or a Wednesday show. I'm liking 8:30, even though I go up against the great and powerful Tim Pool. Pretty soon, now that we have turned a corner here and started really being able to present something that is reliable in quality, we are going to go back maybe after 25 episodes, 30 episodes, and unlist a lot of the old episodes. I'm going to keep up the first 2 for sure, but a lot of those will end up being unlisted because they are subpar quality. Maybe once we get more followers or something like that, we will, damn it, there it is, we'll let those go for people who are really into it, if that ever even happens. So, on to the meat. I feel like I've let you down. I feel like I've let you down because one of the things I said right off the bat when I started this channel was that I am going to be 100% candid. I'm going to be 100% raw and honest. And that nature is, like I said, one of the very reasons I shouldn't do YouTube. It's just wasting my time. They'll delete the channel pretty quickly, I think. So I've noticed in my own thought process while I'm doing the show that when the subject of race comes up, that I instinctually recoil at the idea of talking about it, especially if I'm talking about white people positively or if I'm talking about anybody besides white people negatively. I've been trained to feel that way. I grew up in Chicago. It's a very liberal area. And I have been trained to treat this subject with kid gloves. And that's not raw. That's not 100% honest. That's not actually how I feel. It's just something that I've been trained to do by social convention. So in that way, I feel like I've failed you. And that's not going to be the case. You're going to see that in this episode because this episode is all about the coming race war. Dakota, hey, excuse me 1 second, please. My dog likes to get into shit he knows he's not supposed to get into because he knows that I can't step away from this microphone. He's very smart. So I'm not going to shock him with the shock collar because I don't even own a collar. Hashtag, there it is again. Hashtag the Muslim idiot from Twitch who likes to make death threats. Dakota, go lay down, dude. Come on. Please. I'm trying to entertain people. I'm trying to entertain a couple people. Hey, go lay down. Stop. You know you're not supposed to do that. Please? Okay. So, moving on. I am not going to deny you folks what you actually came here for. Your Sweeney Wars. That is coming right up. But I got a few short updates. I'm sorry, I keep looking at my dog because he's fucking around by like my laundry. He likes to eat socks, and I really don't want him to run away with one of my socks. So, hey, Coda. Go lay down. Go on. Go on. Come on. Go out there. Go. I'm closing the door. I apologize, folks. I swear I've said it on the episode before. Satan is trying to sabotage this show, and Satan just stuck his finger up my dog's butthole right now to get him to do that. So a few short updates before we get into the race war. You've heard about the probable future mayor of New York, Mamdani. I don't even remember his first name because I don't care that much about New York. This is just a nice little dunk on the left and something that we are going to get into in the future and something that I do want to get into a little bit tonight because, like I said, we're not holding back on the subject of race anymore. If it makes you uncomfortable, leave the channel. That's fine. I'm not for everybody. This channel for sure is not for everybody. That, like I said, that's why it's only on Rumble. So let's get right into it, I guess. Let me make sure I said again. I'm noticing it. I'm trying though. I'm trying. You can't be successful until you at least notice it, right? That's what alcoholics say. So here we have Zoran Mamdani. The real victims of 9/11 were Muslims, not the 3,000 people who died because of Islamism. Watch what he says here. You've probably seen this. This has been going everywhere. It's viral as hell. It's ancient Chinese asikaret, and now they're barking because something happened in the hallway. Anytime anything happens in the hallway of my condo, my dogs lose their shit. But here's Zoran Mamdani as we ignore that.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
The fake crying. So do you see that? Zoran Mamdani's aunt neither wears a hijab nor lived in New York City before, during, or after 9/11. In fact, she lived in Tanzania. That's literally about as far away from New York as you can get and still remain on planet Earth. What it doesn't say in that is that she was also married to her cousin. That's right. Zoran Mamdani's aunt was married to her cousin. This is a very common practice in the Muslim world. In fact, the great Gavin McInnes once stated on the Joe Rogan podcast that in the Muslim world, I think in Pakistan, the likelihood of, you pick anybody at random, the likelihood of them being inbred is like 85%. And it's not that high everywhere. It's as low as 50% some places. But if you look at Muslim, especially Muslim immigrants in the UK, in the US, these populations have rates that are closer to 65 to 85% inbreeding of second or first cousins. That's fine. That's fine in the Muslim world. That is not a problem. But it does indeed lead to inbreeding, which leads to lower IQs, increased aggression, and fanaticism. These are all things that are medically documented as being common with people who are inbred. And when you have a population that is more than half inbred by per capita, how do you deal with that? How do you reason with that? What do you even do with that? I thought that was illegal. They don't seem to give a shit about that. Obviously, they don't seem interested in assimilating at all. A lot of them will live here for 40 years and barely learn English. I don't care what country I move to. If I lived there for 30 years, I would be making jokes. I would be speaking with a perfect accent. I would be a fucking poet in their language. I would know all the nuances. I would know all the little things, like you say, 4:45, not 15 minutes to, all the little nuances of the language. So that's that. That's just a quick update there. Another thing is the lady from Nathan Hale. I grew up, like I said, in the Midway neighborhood of Chicago. The official name of the neighborhood is kind of a dual neighborhood. It's Clearing and Garfield Ridge, but everybody calls it Midway. That's where I grew up. And recently, you've probably seen the video of this fat Mexican woman at a No Kings protest in Chicago doing this motion, shooting in the neck motion, as a man drove by with a Charlie Kirk flag and filmed her. The latest update that we had, I think it was the last episode that I did that, was that the principal of the school that she works for, Nathan Hale School, gave her a stern talking to. Actually, I have a visual. Let me just pop that up real quick. Yeah. So this says, let me click on over. Breaking: Chicago school teacher Lucy Martinez, who appeared in the viral video mocking the Charlie Kirk tragedy, has been fired, and students reportedly captured her emotional reaction moments after the news broke. I read this article. It's just clickbait forever, and there is no actual video, but it is kind of funny what they say about it. I'm trying to make it a little bit of a short episode today, so I'm just going to cut right to the chase here so we can get to the rest of the show. The unseen footage. Though the public has not viewed the alleged video of her reaction, whispers about its contents persist. That means nothing. That you could just say that and nobody can fact check you on that. Some claim it shows her breaking down in tears, apologizing to students. Some say it shows lobsters crawling out of her asshole. You can say anything about a video that nobody's even sure it exists. So you can just say that people are whispering about this video showing her butthole turning inside out, and then on the inside of her, she's actually Santa Claus. Whatever you want. What's certain is that it has become subject of intense online speculation. By the way, this is the only time I've heard of it. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. I haven't seen a post about it. This clickbait, probably AI-generated article is the only mention of it that I've ever seen. Several users have tried to upload versions of it, only for them to be swiftly removed. I don't believe you. For now, the footage remains unseen, perhaps the final piece of a story already too painful to watch unfold any further. Fantastic. So justice is served to, what's her name? Lucy Martinez of Nathan Hale School in the Clearing Garfield Ridge neighborhood of Chicago. Finally, is all I have to say. Finally. Remember when people were getting fired for just wearing a MAGA hat, for supporting a presidential candidate, for supporting the president of the United States after he was elected? People were fired for this. Remember that? Remember how they treated us? Oh, I had one loaded up. You know what? I'm going to grab it from my email just because I didn't think I was going to use it, but it looks like I could use it right about now. So just bear with me, if you would, as I get this from my email, because it shows in real time exactly how they treated us back in those days. Sorry, it's going to just take me a second. We're right there. Here we go. And I am going to do this and this. Okay, here we go. Let me transition on over here. And I saved this just for this purpose. I can't believe I didn't load it up. Here we go.
What is highly likely going into the 2024 election is that a small subset of Trump's very well-armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute.
Major party candidate is saying, you elect me, there's going to be dictatorship, bloodbath, violence, retribution against my political enemies. That equals what we saw in Italy and Germany and other places. However this election turns out, it will be. Americans were given the voluntary choice to become pawns in a dictatorship under a presidency of unimaginable brutality and violence and all sorts of things that are as un-American.
That sounds so horrible, doesn't it?
As anything that we can imagine, or whether they voted against that. The Nazis and Hitler came to power under a legal system. One reason that happened was that people didn't realize that if you're voting for Hitler, this could end in the Holocaust and a defeat in World War II.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to...
We're only halfway through. We're only halfway through. I don't think I have to say, can you imagine if it was the other way around, how the media would react, how people would react, how people would go to jail, how people would lose their jobs, how people would just be canceled into the ground, never to earn another dollar again, never to use a bank or PayPal or DoorDash.
Death. Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
That's it right there.
Kathy Griffin, she sure aged well. By the way, if you don't know, let's see, Kathy Griffin now. It's pretty bad. Oof. It's on Facebook. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. When they cut off the baby blood, it really hurts, doesn't it? It really does. It really does. Okay, let's move on.
Donald Trump is turning this nation into Nazi Germany.
I hate comparing Trump to Hitler because Hitler could concentrate for more than 30 seconds.
I want to start using the word fascist.
Yeah, he's a fascist.
And tendencies, many tendencies like Adolf Hitler.
You don't have a president, as you said, talking about exterminating Latinos.
This is not a reach.
Exterminating big booty Latinas. Can you imagine Donald Trump exterminating big booty Latinas? I don't think so.
I can go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
The 1940s Nazi sympathizers, they were also called Make America First.
I'm sorry, is that straight out of Nazi Germany?
We'll go and take Trump out tonight. Take him out now.
When was the last time?
That's two Congress people calling for the murder of the president. Here's Johnny Depp, who made up his own accent for some reason.
An actor assassinated a president.
When's the last time an act? He sounds like a native. He sounds like an Indian. Push start, not pull. Wait, no, pull start, not push start.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Oh, the whore of Babylon thought of blowing up the White House. Good job.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
Trumpers, be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Then punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
Feel like punching him.
What is highly...
Well, that is a compilation of some of the rhetoric of the left between the years 2016 and present. Just some selected at random, I would say. That's how they talk about us. They talk about us like we are the actual devil. They talk about us like we are Satan. So, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting any longer. I know why you're here. You're here for hashtag Sweeney Wars. That is a term that I coined myself on this very show. Don't let anybody tell you different. Let's see what our update is with Sweeney Wars. Let me bring that right up over here. My bad, y'all. Oh, it's the wrong. Okay. There we go. Sweeney Wars. I'm going to bring that right over here for you. We just got a little boo-boo. That's okay.
I can multitask, Adrian. I'm not a fucking retard.
Very good. Here is, do you remember the song I mentioned? I mentioned a couple, maybe last episode or a couple episodes. Yeah, it was like 2 episodes ago. Lizzo is being sued for copyright infringement in a song like I'm in it till October or some weird fucking name. But in that song, she samples music, I believe, from some song that's in a Sydney Sweeney movie, and also says, something about I got good genes like Sydney. It's her swipe at Sydney Sweeney. Again, they're mad at her because she said anything positive ever about white people, even though she didn't. She just said she has good genes to sell jeans. I explained that in another episode. This episode is not the one to explain it again, and go back and watch it if you want to see my explanation of that. But this is the song in question, apparently. The music video for the song that Lizzo is being sued for involving Sydney Sweeney. Let's take a look at this art by Lizzo here.
It's way too hot up in here, I'm sweating out of my lace. Don't need no bottle service, we pulled up with our drinks. Trunk full of that Ace, trunk full of that Henny. If we ain't got no Waffle House, we pulling up to the Denny's. I'ma give him a grand slam, he pulling off of the panties. The way he hit from the back, I might give him one of my Grammys.
The way he hit from the back, that's so he doesn't have to look at you. That's called a gold digger in reverse, I suppose. I assume. I don't know why anybody else would do that unless they're being paid.
Did this for the culture. That left, right, and that bend it over. Got scissor and doja. I ate that, now let's do it over. Bitch, what did I told you? I'm going into October. Niggas acting like the fun is over. Niggas acting like summer's over. But oh, give me some space.
Summer is over. It's October. I don't even know what she's talking about anymore. She just says shit. So that is your Sweeney Wars update for today. Let's give it up for our fair queen, Sydney Sweeney. Damn, I didn't know that was that long. My bad. Anywho, let's get into the meat of it. The EBT cards are being turned off in 4 days? 3 days? I think it's 3 days. Today is October 28th, and on November 1st, they will be turned off. 44 million people will not have money in their account to buy their groceries that they depend on so much. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of these videos of people talking about, when they turn off my EBT, I will commit X crime. I will steal from the store. I will commit violence on somebody in the parking lot. I will commit violence on somebody in their home. I will commit violence on somebody at the ATM. I'm sure you've seen at least a couple of those. They've been going viral everywhere. If you listen to any kind of right-wing media, you must have seen them. I'm here to talk about that today. Let's go back to the videos, shall we? This first one, and I want to start off on a positive note. Like I said, I am not going to hold back on the subject of race, but also I want to make clear that I'm not racist in a traditional sense. I notice patterns, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely I do. But I do not hate any group just for being the group. Everybody gets a chance right off the bat. I hate people for the content of their character. I may notice that a certain group is more likely to have a certain character. That's called pattern recognition. But if I'm at a bar and there's a black guy at the bar, I'm not going to be like, ooh, I hate him. Ooh, I hate him. I don't know if he's cool or not. There's plenty of cool black guys. You know? Why would I deny myself a good conversation, a cool friend, whatever? So here is, to start off on a positive note so I don't black pill you right off the bat, this is a woman with a brain and a moral compass. It's refreshing to see, honestly. Let's see what this old Aunt Jemima looking lady has to say. Oh, almost gave you no volume there.
Just talking about going out there making them videos, talking about y'all gonna rob them people's stores because they done cut them SNAP benefits. Let me tell you something. You go out.
Wait, was that a smoke alarm? I didn't hear that before.
Videos talking about y'all gonna rob them people's stores because they done cut them SNAP benefits. Let me tell you something. You go out there, you gonna give them folks every legal right to bop you across your head. Baby, they're gonna be justified in bopping you across your head. You better learn how to.
Oh, I think they'll be doing more than some bopping.
Cook some quick, cheap, easy meals. You could take some tuna, some cream of mushroom, peas, and throw some noodles in it. You want to get fancy, crumble some crackers on the top. You got tuna casserole. You can take you some beans. I don't care if it's black bean, pinto beans. If you don't know how to make them homemade, you can buy them in a can from the Dollar Tree with some rice, baby, and you got beans and rice. Get you some cornmeal, honey, a little bit of oil, make some hot skillet cornbread. And you can take some peanut butter with some jelly and make a sandwich, grilled cheese with some bread, honey, and get your tomato soup. You got a meal and sit down somewhere. Don't go out in them streets because they going to bop y'all in the head. Don't do it.
Oh, that's right. See, it'll be a real rumble. We'll be bopping you right on the kisser. That's what'll happen if you try to if you try to kill me in a Jewel Osco parking lot. Let's keep on going. Steven Crowder used to be just a silly dude, just a jokester all the time. Steven Crowder. Since he got divorced and his dog died, it seems that he just got jacked as hell, started probably taking some sort of tea or HGH, and got real serious, but also real focused. He knows his shit. He talks with confidence because he has already looked up all of the arguments and debunked them. He's looked up all the facts and confirmed them. Let's see what Steven Crowder has to say about the current situation.
Well, it is our business. We are the taxpayer. We're the ones who funds SNAP, to be clear. Mankind, this country is our business. So think about this. You're going to give us free crap, even if we're perpetually unemployed, or we're going to commit a felony.
I believe that's called extortion, like the mafia. Hey, this is a nice country you got here. It would be a shame if somebody robbed all the people that pay the taxes.
How do you solve that? How do we coexist as a country? At what point do you think people get fed up enough? And remember,
we're real close. We're getting real close. The fatigue is real.
Remember, SNAP recipients, all references, link in the description, as we do every single show. They cost you, the American worker, $145 billion a year.
Sounds like a lot.
$9 billion a year alone are spent in sugary drinks. That's the number one SNAP item.
$9 billion to Coca-Cola and whoever owns Pepsi, Nestle or something.
Think about that. Supplemental nutrition. Sprite?
That's from the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah. And then something else. You go, well, hey, yeah, some people, they have some tough breaks. This is not Cinderella Man when you understand that the average grocery bill for someone using SNAP, it's twice the amount spent on the average non-SNAP grocery.
Let that sink in for a second.
Bill. So if you're struggling, if you're middle class.
Twice as much. So your average SNAP recipient, your average EBT card user, on their average grocery trip, buys twice as many groceries in dollar value as your average non-EBT card user, as your non-food stamp recipient. This is stores like Walmart, Dollar General, places where poor people shop, it's their bread and butter. It's their bread and butter. When they see an EBT card holder, walk into their store, they see nothing but dollar signs. Because it's a limitless pit of government money funded by you and I.
Yes. And that stings when you see those taxes taken out of your check. Just know that there's someone...
Remember that? Remember your first paycheck? I started working when I was 15. I started working kind of 2 jobs simultaneously. I worked at a hot dog / Italian beef stand near my house. It was called Duke's. They would have car shows on the weekend. It was really cool. And I was also a lifeguard up at my campground, up on the beach. When I cashed my first paycheck, the amount of money that came off of my paycheck for taxes, Social Security, and so forth nearly turned me into a nihilist right there. If I knew about Ayn Rand and libertarianism right there, I would have been a Ron Paul hashtag taxation is theft killdozer 15-year-old.
Out there who, my God, has had a little bit of a tough go, but they're spending double what you just budgeted for your groceries.
And putting it into their Escalade.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's using hyperbole. Is he using hyperbole when he says they're going to put it into their Escalade? I don't think so. I grew up, like I said many times, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My high school is on 79th and Western. Look it up. You know what else happened right near 79th and Western, right around the corner? They filmed the Bernie Mac movie, Barbershop, which is about ghetto barbershop culture. It's about hanging out at the barbershop, which is a hood tradition, as we all know. So let's go ahead and move on. It's already, time is creeping up on us. So what we have here, what we have coming up next is this looting that you've heard about in these videos, that you've seen them profess their plans to do in these TikTok videos time and time again. It's a go. I'm telling you, it's a go. You think they're bluffing, they're not bluffing. How do I know that? Netflix already has the movie in pre-production. That's right. They're already making a movie about it, and they already have footage to show us. This is the pre-production of the Netflix movie. I think the working title is Stamps with a Z. Shanique was loot. I see. Yeah, I know it's AI, asshole. I know. It's a joke. Shut up. Oh, god damn it. I fucked up. Son of a bitch. It fucks up the joke. That was like the only joke I had as part of this. I just wanted to break it up with a little bit of a joke. Fuck. Alright, whatever. It's like 10 seconds long. I'll show you.
Take away our food, we need to take back what's ours. They wanted us hungry. They forgot who we are.
Shaniqua's Loot in theaters this spring.
Son of a gun. That's alright, guys. That's alright. There's going to be less and less of those as time goes on. I'm going to try and make that the only one this episode. Let's move right along from my silly, stupid joke. Like I said, this is a go. Donald Trump and the Republicans offered a clean bill, as you know, for the continuing resolution. A continuing resolution, if you don't know, is just a bill. And this didn't used to be convention. They used to just have enough money, but they don't have enough money. The government operates at a deficit. The government, look at the national debt clock. It's going up like you wouldn't, it's like, it looks like a slot machine in Vegas. It's going up so fast. The amount of money that they spend is absolutely insane year to year. So Donald Trump and the Republicans, in their fiscal conservatism, which is what a conservative is supposed to be, at least that's supposed to be one quality, offered a continuing resolution bill to fund the government for another period of time. That's how those work. And basically, all the bill was to fund the government with nothing else. It would have funded these EBT cars. It would have funded Section 8. It would have funded Medicare and the Army and the parks and forests or whatever, the FBI, everything. It would have funded everything, but it wouldn't have done all this other bullshit that the left wants. We have at least, the most conservative estimates are 10 million. There's no way it's 10 million illegal aliens. It's more likely more like 30 million illegals in a country of 330, I think, million people. So what the Democrats wanted to do was give them free health care, all kinds of benefits, put them up in hotels. They wanted money for that. They had the balls after this election to ask for money for that. And the Republicans said, no, why would we do that? Why would we kowtow to that? No, here's the bill. It's going to fund everything. They say, no, you got to give us our stupid bullshit. There's another one about gender-affirming surgeries, like the government funding that. Are you fucking crazy? Are you crazy? No, absolutely not. I don't care if it's $100. No way. We should not be funding that. Absolutely not. And they're going to literally hold these black people hostage. And I know the statistics. There are actually more white people on EBT than there are black people. I must have seen in my searches about 50 of those videos making threats of committing crimes when the EBT gets turned off. And this old pattern noticer here noticed that there wasn't a single white person there wasn't one. Even though there are more white people on EBT than there are black people. The way that works, not per capita, of course. White people make up about 60% of the population of the United States. Black people make up 12 to 13% of the population of the United States. I'm going to have charts later about the breakup of this. But therefore, since we have 6 times as many people, 5 times as many people, there's going to be more white people on EBT. I haven't seen a single video of a white person threatening any of this shit. And I think if there was one, I would see it. I think it would go mega viral. Because that's what the left-wing media does. That's exactly what they do. Anytime a white person misbehaves, it gets inflated, conflated, posted ad nauseum, incorrectly usually, until the incorrect information just becomes fact. And we move on to the next thing by then. Even though it's being corrected publicly, everybody has moved on already. Because that's the way our news cycle works. That's the way attention spans work in the United States. So, here's a Democrat bragging about how they are going to hold these black people hostage, essentially, hold their food hostage, in order to start this race war. I don't think that they thought this through all the way. I do think that those in power have been actually wanting to start a race war, probably for 50 years at least. Charles Manson believed that a race war was imminent. That's what Helter Skelter and all that was. I know it was a Beatles song that he read into way much, but he thought that the Beatles had written in code about a coming race war. And that was, the 60s. They tried to do it during the Obama administration a lot. There was Rodney King in the middle there. There was O.J. Simpson. I don't know if you were alive for the O.J. Simpson trial, but it was pretty awkward out in the streets right afterwards. They released movies like Roots, The Color Purple, stuff like that. Things that do nothing but divide. There's a Nazi movie every year, basically, to remind you how shitty Nazis are. It all has an effect on the psychology. It all has an effect on the psychology. And they've been trying to start this race war for decades, and I think they might actually do it this time. Obama tried to. You remember that when Trayvon Martin was killed by the Mexican Jew, whatever, Zimmerman? Look at his picture. He's clearly just a Mexican guy, but Zimmerman, I don't know. Maybe he's CIA. Maybe he's a Fed. But when Zimmerman killed Trayvon in self-defense, as a court concluded, eventually, Barack Obama went on TV, he went on stage, and he said, I don't have a son. But if I had a son, he might look like Trayvon. And you had your Michael Brown and all this other shit, where every time a black person died in the proximity of, God forbid, a white cop, but basically any white person, there were riots in the streets. There were protests. Black Lives Matter spawned from all that. And it's only escalated ever since. And now, with Donald Trump as president, tensions are at an all-time high. And Donald Trump, after they shot him in the head, has ceased to give a fuck. His first administration, he was fought at every turn, even by his own people, especially by the Democrats, but even by his own people. And Donald Trump is a guy who likes to be liked. He likes to be the popular guy in the room. He'll change his policy if enough people don't like it. You've seen him do it. And I think that he was too inexperienced, too enamored with the fact that he actually did it, and too infiltrated in his administration with bad actors to actually get anything significant done. But he learned from that. He's a very smart man. He learned from that, and he has a lot of people backing him who are very smart, capable, tenacious people. And I don't think he's going hard enough. But there are a lot of things he's done this administration that I did not think would happen, that I was very surprised when they started to happen. They're arresting big-name people now. God, let them arrest J.B. Pritzker, the governor of my state of Illinois. Please let them arrest J.B. Pritzker. I'll celebrate. I predicted it, and we will have a celebration on this show if that does indeed happen. But let's move on, like I said, to that government elected official. What's her name? Let me transition on over here. Democrat Representative Catherine Clark on the government shutdown. Of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but this is one of the few leverage times that we have. Leverage. That is a Democrat admitting that they know that the party is fucked. They know that it might be the end of the Democrat Party. People are all waking up to their crap. And they know that their chances to have any influence on the culture or policy are going to be few and far between. And this is her saying the quiet part out loud. Here we go.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have. I mean, shutdowns are terrible.
Read. Yes, people will suffer. And that's kind of the plan, because that's the only thing that's going to get anything done, is if people suffer and they think it's Donald Trump's fault. And a lot of people do. All of these videos, they're not talking to Democrats. They're talking to Donald Trump or the government. Let's just move right along here. So, I'm sure you can, let me tell you a little story. Hold on. Sit down, you little faggot. I'm going to tell you a great story. Now, I'm not ashamed to admit that I once applied for food stamps many, many moons ago, lifetime ago, when I was like 18, 17? No, I had to be 18. Yeah, I had to be 18. So 20 years ago, I applied for EBT. When I was 17 years old, my father and I didn't get along, and I moved out with my friends. I moved to another house in a adjacent neighborhood. We all lived together. I was completely unprepared to do so. It was a bad idea. It was a bad choice. I was making, at the time, $75 to $125 a week working at an Italian beef stand, Duke's, like I mentioned earlier. I had some savings bonds from when I was born. My grandpa bought me some savings bonds, some U.S. savings bonds. All of those went to rent. I could not afford my living situation, even though I was sharing a bedroom with my best friend. So I applied for EBT. They told me that I made too much money. I'm not kidding. They told me that I made too much money. I did the math. It was something like $12,000 or $13,000 a year. I made too much money as an 18-year-old to receive EBT. So I never actually did receive EBT, but I did apply for it 20 years ago, and that's the response I got. Let's take a look at what's going on in the black community. I don't know if they're just the only people stupid enough to post this type of shit, or if it just doesn't happen outside of that community. I really don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But the only thing I see is a certain group of people posting a certain type of content. Of course, hashtag not all. There's my reflexive fear of being shunned from the group for my racism. But it's not. It's just you have to acknowledge problems or they don't get fixed. That's just fixing problems 101. Let's watch this video. It says mother going viral for telling her son that he can't get a job because they gon' take her Section 8. The smaller text says, my mama just told me that I can't get a job because they gon', G-O-N-E, take her Section 8 and her link card with some fucking emoji. She said government assistance is a cheat code for black peoples. And this is posted by Rap Street Juice.
No job. If you go get a job, they're going to take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
But, Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically tell...
He's asking, how am I supposed to be successful in life if I can't get a job, mother?
Telling me I gotta be broke to be successful. I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be
so
broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to go through the same thing you went through?
If you
to have a
don't
house?
do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
Won't
trying
they be
to tell
like?
you
Won't
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours at ease. You can go get a
They will.
nice house.
No, they will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, ma. That's what you told me.
Where I'm gonna go?
That's not how it works.
I don't
have no job.
I can get off your Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take long.
So what? That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a few months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us.
You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us. She says, get you some Section 8, get you a link card. She says it like, go to high school, get good grades, go to she says it like it's not, like it's just a normal thing. Like that's just what you do. That's how you get set up in the world, is to do this series of actions, which is different ways of extorting the American people for their tax money. Cool. I live in Chicago, where we have third, fourth generation welfare recipients, where you'll meet a person who's on welfare. Their parents were, their mother, let's be honest, was on welfare. Their grandmother was on welfare. And their grandmother's mother was on welfare. So they've never seen a job in living memory. Everything that they have ever owned has been paid for by people like you and me. And not so much as a thank you. Instead of that woman that we just saw, instead of her son getting a job, she'd rather have her son doing activities like this.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God! They still it! They still it! They still it! I got balls! Y'all ain't gonna leave out with it!
I paid for this shit.
Stopping and posing with the stolen merchandise.
This is they all nasty. That shit not cute.
Just look at sauntering. That's a saunter, if I've ever seen one. Not even jogging out, not running, not even skipping, not a cartwheel. A saunter, a mosey.
Y'all got mom and dad. That's a mess. That's not cute.
This dude came back to pose again.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what's going on there. That makes me want to fund EBT cards. I mean, look, they have to steal. These are people who are desperate. These people are trying to feed their children and their wives. Their wives who they're definitely married to.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my...
Hold on.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my mother...
Look how fucking fat you are. Look how you could survive for 3 months without eating at all. And look at, she's talking about wearing armor. Look at, her friend is filming her. This is a joint effort here. The brazen nature of people to make a video, post it out into the world about how they plan to commit a crime if situation X is not met. I plan to not only extort, this video here is extortion. It's saying do this or harm will come upon you. But then I do believe that they have every intention to commit the harm that they say they will. If people tell you who they are, listen, right? And if we have this many videos, how many are not posting videos and just watching the videos? These videos are getting literally millions of views, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of likes, shares, and comments. There are a lot of people who are in major support of this idea.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel...
Okay, so that's our first one. Maybe you've seen that. I'm not going to go forever with these. I'm just going to give a few examples in escalating intensity. Let's see what this person, this human being with a large, obscure face tattoo. Is that a little bit of facial hair there? Let's see.
If I came in your house with all my bags, picking out all your food, deep freezer, snacks, your grandmama's milk, and everything, what you gonna do?
Well, my grandma doesn't live at my house. That's not something that we do very often in our community, but go on.
I'm curious. What you gonna do? If I was...
So you're asking me what I would do if you came into my home and started stealing all of my food, including my grandmother's milk and so forth. Let's let her end it, and we'll let it play through one time all the way through.
Walk in your house and go grocery shopping in your shit. If I came in your house...
That is just, like, what kind of human is that? You don't even need the sound. Just look at the...
house with all my bags, picking out all your food, deep freezer, snacks, your grandmama's milk, and everything. What you gonna do? I'm curious. What you gonna do? If I was to walk in your house and go grocery shopping in your shit.
Well, if you were to walk into my house and go grocery shopping in my shit, as you say, and what you mean by that is going through all of my food items, taking what you want, placing it into your bag, and then exiting my home with the property, making it therefore theft in your property. Well, the answer to that is if you were to walk into my home, that would mean you would have to break 2 locks to enter the domicile area, at which point I can only assume your intentions are harmful. I would retrieve the closest firearm in my home, of which there are many. I would point it at you. Trust me, they're all chambered. They're all already chambered right now. I'd point it at you. I would tell you to stop moving as I called the police to come and retrieve you. If you attempted to commit violence upon me or move, you would be met with force. Let's just leave it at that. That's what would happen if you were to walk up in my home and go grocery shopping all up in my shit. As you say, you'd never make it to the grocery shopping part. You'd never make it to the kitchen. Trust me. Let's see what we got next. Oh, here's a happy fellow. It says Halloween weekend. What does he have to say? Oh, hold on. No sound. I got to hit the volume thing. They come pre-muted.
I don't get it. If Halloween falls on a Friday, why are you guys having Halloween parties the weekend before?
Why are we having Halloween parties the weekend before if Halloween falls on a Friday?
You're messing with the natural order of things.
Are we messing with the natural order of things? Ask the question again.
I don't get it. If Halloween falls on a Friday, why are you guys having Halloween parties the weekend before?
Well, I can tell you, buckaroo, the reason that we're having our Halloween parties the weekend before Halloween is because the day after Halloween is November 1st. And that's the day we've been talking about. That's the day that your EBT gets cut off. And as many people have elected to tell us all on social media platforms such as TikTok and Twitter and so forth, that there will be a large wave of violence that day committed by EBT card holders on the general public if they do not receive, if they don't get paid with our tax money. If they don't get their money that they did not earn, there will be violence on a large scale. That's why we're having our parties the weekend before, because we don't want to be outside on November 1st and probably not on Halloween either, because there's a lot of people wearing masks. And in my neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, people used Halloween as an excuse to get away with crimes, especially crimes like vandalism. Often, every year, it was pandemonium. I wish that small video cameras were common at the time, because if you saw it, you would think it's a movie. You would not believe the chaos that ensued in my neighborhood on Halloween on the south side of Chicago in the 90s. I don't know what it's like anymore. I moved away. I don't want to live in the city anymore. Why would I? Everything's twice as much, and I have to live among more crime, more violence, more destitution. Why would I do that? That's dumb. Let's move on. Here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. I almost made another fucky wucky. Not this time. Not this time, Satan. I almost messed up. Didn't mess up. People think I forgot what I was doing. Didn't forget. Let's rewind.
Hell, they talking about no food stamps. Y'all can take y'all purses if y'all want to. Y'all can take y'all purses if y'all want to. I ain't taking no purse. Yeah, steak. What you mean, steak?
Steak. What you mean?
Now we about to eat good over here, baby. I ain't stopping.
Lobster.
Lobster tail. Quit playing. Quit playing. Get y'all them little purses. Get a.
That's a fucking trash bag.
Get a trash bag.
Oh, thank you.
You hear me? Get a trash bag, cause who?
Hey, fucking tomahawk ribeyes, dude. In the store, not even in a restaurant. That tomahawk ribeye is probably $35. In a restaurant, it's $75 minimum. My friend once ordered a tomahawk ribeye steak that was like $280 something at this fancy restaurant downtown.
Cause who? We gonna be eating steak for Thanksgiving.
I can tell by her hand that she's fat as fuck.
We might have a steak off around here.
A steak off? As what? Like who could cook a steak more well done with ketchup?
Yeah, y'all see that? Play with somebody else, government.
Give us our EBT, Trump. Give us our EBT. You know, I had probably about 5 more of these. I literally had like 5 more of these, but look at what happened. Actually, let me... Oh, wow. What? How does that work? Okay, this is what happened to a lot of them. I emailed them. Like I said, I got home at 4. I started the show at 8:30. Between that time, 5 links of these ladies threatening violence just went away, just disappeared from the earth. Literally, this is what I saw. Page isn't available right now. When I clicked on them 5 minutes after I posted them in my email, I copy and pasted the link. They're gone. Hopefully it's because it violates terms of service by threatening random violence against hypothetical people that they don't even know they're going to commit it against yet. Hopefully that's what it is, and not these platforms hiding the evidence of conspiracy to commit assault and robbery, strong arm robbery, armed robbery, whatever. Fucking bring it, is what I say. That's what I say, I tells you. So, let's move on. I forgot, actually, what this lady says. I feel like she's a little bit more tame. I feel like I wanted to ease you out of all of the violence. I had another one of a lady who was talking about steak and lobster, steak and lobster, steak and lobster. Like I said, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I didn't grow up rich by any means. My father was a fireman. Before he became a fireman, when I was a little kid, we really didn't have a lot of money, to be honest. We ate spaghetti a lot. You know, it was, my mom had to work full time. My dad was a fireman and another job. He had to work 2 jobs just to pay for everything. Now I have a trade. I get paid pretty well. Let's say this. If I show up to your business, it's automatically, if I'm there for 5 minutes or 2 hours, it's automatically $400. My time is worth $200 an hour to my employer. I get paid pretty damn well for my services to my employer. Never in my life have I ordered steak and lobster or eaten steak and lobster in the same meal. My dad retired as a captain on the fire department of Chicago. That's pretty good money, I'll let you know. His retirement, vacations, birthdays, Christmas, never have we eaten steak and lobster together. And if we did, I can tell you this for sure. The steak would not be well done, and there would be no ketchup. Let's move on and see what this crazy lady says.
I want all y'all to
That is terrifying already.
listen up. And I ain't gonna say it but one time. If they want to cut off food stamp, they want to cut off Medicaid, Section 8, let me tell you what y'all need to do. Stop supporting Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year.
Not New Year's. What will the people at Cristal do?
Easter, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Halloween.
It's not your money anyway. What? It's Halloween? You're going to stop supporting first off, people aren't going to do that. Second off, that's our money anyway. So if it stops going to you, it just goes back into not having a deficit, or maybe even back in our pockets. I'm fine with SNAP just ending forever now. Just rip the Band-Aid off, because there's no way to ease out of something like this. When people have been given something for free, literally their entire life sustenance, housing, food, medicine, everything for free for several generations in a row, and there is nobody in that family alive who has ever known a full day of work, how do you ease somebody out of that? How do you ease 44 million people out of that? You don't. You just have to rip off the Band-Aid, God help us, and deal with the consequences as they come. Violence would have to be dealt with swiftly and severely. That's really the only thing available anymore. Because the people who are left on the left, the people who are still there, clinging to it, are all nutbags. You've seen the protests. You've seen the videos. You've seen the giant Adderall eyes as they talk about murdering people and cackling while they do it. The only thing that you can do with a group like that is to be a fascist. I'm like becoming a fascist because of these people. I'm not even mad about it. These people have to be crushed with the law. Let me be clear. Donald Trump has to escalate 10x, because half measures or anything less than full force crushing is just going to piss them off. It's just going to animate them, and there will be more killings, more assassinations, more burning mostly peaceful activity and violence in the streets. Let's move on. What's this here? What is this blue-haired midget going to tell us? This doesn't look good.
They're sharing their plans.
Who's sharing their plans?
If you have a restaurant, if you have a grocery store, if you are out in public eating, if you work at any of those places, if you are unloading groceries at your car, whatever, watch your back, stay vigilant, and keep your situational awareness on point. Watch this and let me know your thoughts.
Fucking November 3rd at 6:30, we're going to Walmart. We're going to fucking Walmart. And at 7:30, we're going to walk out of Walmart with our fucking buggies, okay? The thing is, they can catch everybody. You feel me? All you gotta do is run, Forrest, run, okay?
Okay, you don't get run, Forrest, run. That's our guy.
We have to stick together. It don't even matter. As long as we gonna have everything we need for Thanksgiving, that's all that fucking matters, bitch.
Wait, I thought you were boycotting Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day and Pulaski Day and St. Patrick's Day and Memorial Day.
Run, Forrest, run. Remember, put it in your calendar. November 3rd, 6:30 to 7:30. You better be running up that motherfucking.
November 3rd, 6:30 to 7:30. I have a Walmart 4 blocks from my house or so. Right across the bridge. Right across the bridge over there. I might stop by. What's November 3rd? If Halloween is a Friday, then that would make November 3rd a Monday? Perfect. That's the time to do it. Oh, hold on. Didn't mean to do that. That's the time to do it, though, because Monday is when working people are at work. So if you're going to commit robbery with the threat of violence en masse, I believe Monday would be the day to do it. I might just pop on over there. I'm off work by 6:30 every day. I may perform a citizen's arrest. We'll see how that goes. If I won't get mobbed up on by 1,000 people. Speaking of things I might go to, hold on. Let me switch over here. Because I have to switch these things here. Speaking of things I may or may not go to, I hope that goddamn sound wasn't on the whole time. That would really suck if that was on the whole time. I can't think about that right now, but look at what I saw here. The Oak Lawn Patch, that is an adjacent neighboring suburb to the one that I live in. The Oak Lawn Patch says, join the 19th Ward Mutual Aid Thursday, October 30th to assemble anti-ice whistle kits in the Evergreen Park area. RSVP required. Oh, shit. Good thing I read it. Join. Fuck off. I gotta make sure that's showing up. Okay. Join the 19th Ward Mutual Aid to pack whistle kits to protect neighbors from ice. Chicago, whistles have become the first line of defense in warning neighbors ICE agents are nearby. The 19th Ward Mutual Aid will be holding a Whistlemania, brother, event from 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday, October 30th in the Evergreen Park area. Like where, though? Volunteers will be assembling whistle kits that include a whistle, a Know Your Rights printout, instructions on how to use the kits, a whistle, Jesus Christ, and Know Your Rights palm cards to hand over in case of being stopped by federal agents. The instructions that come with the kits stress nonviolence. You have to tell them that, to be nonviolent as they're being arrested for breaking the law long term. Whistle kits emerged in California, so yeah, let's take their example. Earlier this year, during heightened ICE activities in that state. The idea made its way to Chicago, and the kits have been effectively used to alert residents of ICE activity since Operation Midway Blitz was launched last month. Midway Blitz. I grew up in the Midway neighborhood of Chicago. You see, I saw a Homeland Security video the other day that showed a street sign that said 63rd and Cicero. That's my neighborhood, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hell yeah. The object is to reduce the number of people detained without due process through a rapid alert system, activists said. Mainly blowing into a whistle, as if you're being raped. Kat Abu Ghazala. Why is it always... If it's not a Jew, it's a Muslim, and if it's not a Muslim, it's an Indian. Kat Abu Ghazala, a candidate for Illinois' 9th Congressional District, told the Daily Northwestern that the whistles have been shown to deter ICE. I don't believe you. Abu Ghazala has been thrown to ground. I think you mean the ground. Shot with pepper balls. Awesome. And detained protesting, and been detained is what you mean. Protesting outside the ICE detention facility in Broadview. She said she was proud of Chicago for standing up to ICE. People are scared, but they're defiant. They should be scared. Said Abu Ghazala. You should be scared of ICE. I don't trust that you're here legally. Who's running against 3 other people in the upcoming Democratic primary to fill the seat of retiring Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. That sounds very white. If interested in helping to package whistle kits, RSVP via 19th Ward Mutual Aid. The location will be provided after reserving a spot. What do you think? Should I go to that? Should I infiltrate? Should I do a O'Keefe Media Group, a Project Veritas on that? Do my little inside. I don't have like a tiny spy camera or anything. I don't know how I would actually accomplish that, but I am considering it, and I have 2 days to figure it out. I'll let you guys know on Twitter, x.com/def, DEF _not_left for updates on that, and it may be on the very next episode. We shall see, shall we? So, we only have a few more things left. This is going longer than I thought it would, but that is quite all right. Let's see what else we got over here. This is the boss bitch. This is the final boss of EBT welfare recipients threatening federal crimes. Let's see what this beautiful young lass has to say. Oops.
Did you hear what's going on with Trump and them?
Trump and them? I thought it was Democrats who wouldn't vote for the bill. But that's neither here nor there.
Apparently they shut down November and December food stamp. I just got a note from them say they gonna shut my food stamps. Ohio, you bet not. You bet not feed in that.
Bet not. That's a new one for me. It's obvious. I know what she means. I've never heard anybody say it like that, though.
Allegation. You better pay me my food stamps. I better get my food stamps.
That's not how they talk, man. Like, I better get my... They're not your... They're mine, actually. I pay for them. My wife pays for them. I've worked since I was 15 years old. I worked since the very second I could legally to pay for your quote-unquote food stamps. They're my fucking food stamps.
Let me not get no food stamps November and December. Free me. Get my commissary out, because I'm taking up the stove and taking everything. Making my way downtown to...
Okay, you do not get... That song is for white women in Ugg boots with pumpkin spice coffee. Are you out of your fuck mind? That's cultural appropriation.
The White House. I'm going to White House. Quick.
Wait. She just said she's going to the White House.
To the White House. I'm going to White House. Quick. I'm going to the White House. Quick. I'm going to the White House. To me, he Trump.
So there you go. This morbidly obese... Oh, dude, was that coming up? Hold on. That better have been up. Okay, good. Okay. This morbidly obese woman in her car said that if she does not get her money, get paid, as she says, that she will go to the White House quick, and then made a finger gun gesture and said Donald Trump. She threatened to murder the president if she does not get her free money from the taxpayer. Are we going to take it seriously yet? Is the Secret Service going to give this woman a visit? I sure hope so. I mean, not like she could actually pull it off, but I sure hope so. Because this sort of thing cannot be tolerated. It cannot be fucking tolerated. I'm remembering some of the videos that I saved that are not coming up. One of them was a woman talking about how she got her nails did, her hair did, her eyelashes, her eyebrows, all this shit, and at the same time complaining. EBT doesn't cover those things, by the way. Complaining that EBT is not coming in and threatening violence. There was another steak and lobster lady. There was most of them. It's funny because the most egregious ones besides that one were the ones that got taken down. I wish I knew why. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that room. Maybe it was taken down by the user. Maybe it was taken down by the platform for breaking terms of service. Maybe it was taken down by the platform for their own propaganda reasons. So we don't have fuel. So I don't have those videos to show you. Just the shitty nature of how shitty humans can be. So we only got a few more things and then we're going to wrap it up. I mentioned that I was going to give you guys some stats earlier in the show. There's this gentleman. I'm going to actually mute this one because it's like a 2-second loop of a video and he just keeps saying, make it make sense over and over again. So I am going to spare you from that and just give you the video. I'll probably want to zoom in on that because it looks like it's probably hard to see. Yeah, let me do that. That's not it. Hold on a sec here. There we go. All right, let me zoom that in for you. So we have food stamps by ethnicity at the top. Afghan, followed by Somali, followed by Iraqi. And this is the percentage of the population living in the United States that is on food stamps. So 45.6% of Afghans living in the U.S. are on food stamps. 42.4% of Somalis. 34-point-something% of Iraqis. 34.4% of Dominicans. Caribbeans are 28.2%. Native, 27.6%. They're the only ones that are technically supposed to be here. And I actually don't even mind if we give Indians some shit. I'm not going to say that we fucked them over because they were worthy adversaries. But we did beat the shit out of them pretty badly. So, and there's not that many of them. And they were here first, but they lost. So I don't mind hooking those guys up. Plus, they never developed any genes to process alcohol properly the way Europeans do. So they are prone to being alcoholics, and that's not our fault, but we did bring them alcohol. We didn't know that was going to happen, but I just kind of feel bad for those guys. You know, there's not that many left. Their language is dying. Their culture is dying. I can relate. Those other groups, Afghans, Somalis, Iraqi, Dominican, why are you here? These are literally the worst countries on earth. These are the worst low IQ, high violence countries on the planet Earth. Just leave. Why are we taking... What the fuck is this? Is somebody... Son of a bitch. That's a Facebook message. Okay. Very cool. If this fucking crypto group starts going apeshit, I am going to be mad, but we're just going to move on. Here's another one. Welfare use by nativity and legal status. So, the blue pillars represent U.S.-born headed households. That's you and me. The orange one is legal immigrant households, and the purple one is illegal headed households. Do you notice a trend here? Oh shit, hold on.
Make it make sense.
See, I told you, it's just him saying that. Okay, so any welfare, 59% of illegals headed households are on any welfare compared to 39% of natural born. Is it real? There's no fucking way, dude. 39%? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't even make sense. How could it be 44 million people in America in a country of 330 million? how does that work? U.S.-born headed house. Well, it's households. Okay. I'll look into that more, maybe. Cash, actually, it's legal immigrants who use that. Food, there we go. Then the illegals really pull ahead. 48%, half of illegals compared to a quarter of U.S.-born Americans. Medicaid, 25% of us use it compared to 39%. And then housing seems pretty equal across the board. Again, I don't think I believe that one either, regardless of what this retard... Why does he have headphones? You don't need headphones to say, make it make sense. I hate this guy. Michael Q, I hate your name as well. This is not... This is nothing. Do we have anything else? Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll bring it... I think we'll bring it to a close, guys. I think I said everything I have to say today. We have another... This equals our second full stream in the studio where we dropped the stream 0 times, and I only made one major boo-boo this time. Let's celebrate that, guys, and be thankful. Okay, so, I forgot that fucking drop goes forever. Jesus Christ.
I can multitask, Adrian. I'm not a fucking retard.
I know. I'm trying to use the buttons less, too. I just want to use them. I'm like the Carrot Top of sound effects. I just want to use those buttons because it's fun. It's just fun. But every episode, I am doing a segment that has a working title called How Not to Suck. It is a example, a beacon, some advice, you can call it usually. Sometimes it'll be just a skill. But the audience is young men. The intended audience is young men who are lacking in masculine, Christian, conservative leaders. There are a few, don't get me wrong. There's a few, even fewer, that I would want my kid listening to. Like Jordan Peterson is good, but I wouldn't want him listening to Andrew Tate unless he was a complete fag.
He's a fag.
I'm squeezing him in here at the end. But this is How Not to Suck, and this is addressed to young conservative men of America. They hate you. They hate you. You are enemy number one in their world. Whoever they means to you, you know who I'm talking about. They hate you. They do not want you participating in society, and if they had their way, you would not be in society at all. You would not exist. This goes double if you're a black Christian conservative. White Christian conservatives are hated, but what do they hate more than a black Christian conservative? They call you an Uncle Tom. They call you House N. All that stuff. All those terrible racist names, really. Who's more racist than a black person or a white conservative to a black person who is... Who's more racist than a black person or a white liberal to a black person who is conservative and unapologetic? That's a high level of hate, a high level of vitriolic rhetoric towards those people. So I'm going to reiterate one of these How Not to Sucks that I already did. It was in a very early episode, and I'm reiterating it because I planned the part 2 of this How Not to Suck for Halloween. Friday. I guess we'll do the Saturday show on Friday because it's Halloween. And that won't be a fuck around Friday. If we do a fuck around Friday, it'll be on Saturday this week. Ooh, bizarro week. But the one I want to give you is how to throw a punch, part 1. And again, why should you listen to me? I have learned everything the hard way. I have been an asshole, a faggot, and a retard all at the same time in my life. I'm not going to go into all the stupid shit I did, but if you want to go back to previous episodes and skip to the end, somewhere near the end, I'll tell you all the stupid shit I did and how I learned the hard way and how I made it to sanity, part of the sane community. Anyway, how to throw a punch. I grew up in Chicago. I've been in many fights, thrown many punches. And your instinct when you throw a punch, at least my instinct, even to this day, I have to be a little bit conscious of it. It's mostly muscle memory, but I still, if I'm like super drunk or something and I like punch a wall, which hasn't happened in a very long time, I might forget. And I might do this, which is to favor your pinky and ring finger knuckles. It seems like that's going to give you the most torque or whatever. What will happen if you do that is you will break your knuckles. You'll break your hand or you'll break your knuckles, and they'll be all puffed out. Your hand will look like a mole, and you won't be able to throw a proper punch for a week or two, probably, at least, without it bringing you to your knees in pain. It's your instinct to do that. The proper way to throw a punch is this. You want to take your ring finger, not your ring finger, I'm sorry, your index finger and your middle finger, those two knuckles. Go ahead and feel your knuckles. Just feel them each individually. Which ones seem the sharpest to you? Which ones seem the most robust and the most backed up by other thick bones? That's going to be these two. So what you want to do is you want to line those two knuckles up with the two bones in your arm, your radius and ulna. Excuse me, your radius and ulna. You want to just line them up, and it creates this battering ram with two sharp points on the front. And you may still break them, but the chances of you breaking them is much, much, much lower. The chances of you inflicting maximum pain on the recipient of that punch is much, much higher. The chance of you opening the recipient of that punch up and making them bleed from that punch is going to be much, much higher. And your chance of throwing a second punch is going to be much, much higher. Because your hand's not broken. You're not in as much pain. It's still going to hurt. It's still going to hurt, but you're not going to be in as much pain if you just busted your two knuckles on somebody's forehead. Also, don't punch them in the forehead. That's like the worst part of the head that you could possibly punch. You're aiming for this. You want to spin the neck, spin the chin. What that does is if you torque it hard enough, it spins the brainstem and hits the reset button on your brain. They go to sleep for a few seconds, wake up thinking they have school or work, and then realize that they are in the location where they started trouble. Because we don't start trouble. We don't start fights. We don't advocate for violence, but we certainly do finish fights if they happen upon us. And I want each and every one of you to be prepared, because we are increasingly living in a world where people like you and I are hated, in a world where people feel comfortable openly calling for and committing violence without fear of consequence on people like you and I. So keep your head on a swivel and be prepared. Be capable of terrifying violence and keep that on a very short leash. Hopefully you never use it. Hopefully you never have to. But if you do have to, it's there. Train, become terrifying. Be a warrior in a garden rather than a gardener in a war, because we are absolutely at war for the culture of our country, for our way of life, for America itself, and above all, for our souls. I do believe this is a spiritual war, one that's been going on for a lot longer than we've been alive, but I think we are seeing it manifest on the physical plane right before our very eyes every single day. And if that is indeed the case, this is my biggest sword, this is my biggest gun, is this microphone and my big mouth. I used to do it for fun, but never with an agenda. So now I am putting what the Lord saw fit to give me years and years and thousands of hours of practicing. I am now putting that to use in the service of good. Hopefully it's effective. If not, whatever. I tried. So that is How Not to Suck for this episode. And as you know, if you've watched any other episodes, I like to end on a high note. It can get pretty black pilling with the stuff I talk about. It's easy to fall into depression or temporary nihilism with the stuff that I talk about. And not just me, anybody who's reporting the news, and anybody on the right, at least, because they tend to tell the truth, at least more of the truth. And the truth is depressing. The world is on fire. There's millions of people who, despite all ration, logic, reason, and facts that have been proven publicly, beyond a doubt, commonly, there is a significant portion of people in your country who hate this country and who hate you because you love this country. And that can be very fucking depressing. Very depressing. It can make you angry, make you nihilistic, and black-pilled. So, that's why we end on a high note. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything political. Just something that made me happy in the last few days since the last show. I'm 38 years old. I'm a child of the 90s. That's when I grew up. That's when a lot of my fondest memories are from the 90s and the early 2000s. All the way up to 2008, I would say. And there's an I'm sure there's been a lot that I haven't caught. But I imagine I just addressed young men. So I'm assuming that young men are watching this show by nature of the conversation. And if you are a young man, you may not have seen the glory, the absolute glory, that is a Mentos commercial from the 90s. This is not the video. This is just to give you context. A Mentos commercial in the 90s, there was a whole story arc. There was a person who, usually a professional, but this person would be in a situation. This person would come up against some adversity. This person would pop a Mentos in response to the adversity and then figure it out, usually in an unconventional way that whoever was observing finds very impressive, and that person moves on. They won again. It's another W. Let's move on. Thank you very much, Mentos. I'm going to give you a few examples of that before I give you the video that made me so happy. I'm actually glad I looked these up and watched them because it reminds me of just a better time when life wasn't so complicated, when there wasn't so much nihilism, when there wasn't the events that we see every day in the news used to happen every 5 years, 10 years. Now it's like every day, literally. Life, and I was a kid, granted, but my parents did not seem as stressed out as I am right now. And I don't have kids. I have not been blessed with children. I don't know how people do that. But I know that my parents were not nearly as stressed out as I am, with way less responsibility than what they had. And this reminds me of that, so I'm glad I looked it up. Here's Mentos commercials from the 90s, just to give you a background of where we're coming from here. By the way, if you don't love this song by the end of this, if you've never heard it before, if you're like a Zoomer kid or whatever, and you've never heard this song, and you don't love it by the end of this, then just never watch this fucking show again. I don't even care.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life.
High heel,
with
bro.
Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes
also,
better.
fuck this either. Now they're the same.
Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos.
So you can see, she overcame adversity in an unconventional way and impressed that businessman who she'll never see again. But she won the day. Is that that looks like Charlie Kirk's wife. I'm not being disrespectful. That looks like her, though. That looks like Erica Kirk. It's way too old for that. Erica Kirk might not even have been born yet when this commercial was made.
The freshman.
See how it's square? That's what TVs used to be shaped like. God damn it, I can't even get the waiter over here. I look like such a cuck.
Doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets...
How did he know that there was a better tablecloth under there? He pops a Mentos, he goes, you know what? I got an idea. I'll be the waiter. Check this shit.
To you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full.
That guy doesn't question it. He's just like, oh, I guess there's a new waiter. Here you go. I love how the waiter's like, oh, okay, he's good. He pops a Mentos, and the guy's like, oh, it's a fucking Mentos. Okay, I get it.
Mentos, the
He didn't even hit the car. By the way, that's just how people park in Chicago.
It doesn't matter
Sorry, bitch, I gotta go. I'm late.
what comes. Fresh goes better in life.
I know.
With Mentos fresh and full of life.
Hey, guys.
Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos
Sure, we'll move your 70s Fiat.
fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life. Mentos, the fresh maker.
I thought he was busy. Why is he watching? If he can watch her, he can move his fucking car 6 inches forward. Oh shit, our soccer ball went into a wedding. This one is weird. I did watch these before the show. This one's weird.
It doesn't matter what comes. Fresh goes better.
Oh damn, Jeeves is in the way. How am I gonna get my soccer ball out of this wedding? Somebody was on coke when they wrote this.
Life with Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool.
I know, I'll get this flower. Here you go, bride.
With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos.
I really don't understand how that's a viable solution to sexually assault the bride on your way out. Why did he didn't have to? He could have just got the soccer ball. Like nobody really cared that much.
Mentos.
Jeeves liked it though. He's like, "Hey, good. That's a good tactic, son. I never thought give the bride who just got married a flower and kiss her on the lips, and call her husband a fag and leave. Good. That's actually a good call, kid."
The fresh maker.
Oh no! You sat on the wet paint.
No matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you.
I know. There we go. I'll ruin the rest of the suit. This looks fine. Yeah. Now I look slick. Hey, good job, kid. You look like $1 million. Every single person had that haircut in 1996, by the way.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
See? Oh, gross, my mom.
Doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh.
She doesn't recognize her own son because he's not moving. What are you, a T-Rex? Oh, there he is. Too late, bitch. I'm out. And then the wasted sign comes across like GTA and he... Good job, dude. You ditched the shit out of that old bitch.
Mentos.
Fuck you, mom. And fuck you, dad. So you get it. That's a Mentos commercial from the 90s. You get all... It's like a little movie that you get in 20 seconds or so. So the video I want to show you, the one that made me even happier than that, is a video from a 90s movie called Blood Sport, featuring Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was a French guy who was really good at karate. That was his thing. Could he act? Absolutely not. He could not act his way out of a nutsack. But they kept putting him in movies because chicks thought he was hot. I think he invented Zuba pants. If you don't know what those are what the karate guy wears in Napoleon Dynamite. Those silly pants. He made Zuba pants look good, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And they put him in about 50 movies right in a row, and then he never acted again until they made that movie with all the old action stars, I think. So somebody discovered that a clip from the movie Bloodsport perfectly personifies a Mentos commercial, and then it also turns out that the timing is perfect as well. So let's take a look at that, and then I'm going to let you guys go, because I think my wife might have came home. So this is me just sharing a little bit of my joy with y'all. Ah, fuck, I forgot to turn the sound on. Hold on.
Somebody took the Mentos music and put it to that montage. Dude. It is literally a Mentos commercial.
It is. Doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
How perfect is that? How perfect is that? That is like one of my top 2 videos on the internet, I think. And I have been watching videos on the internet to make myself laugh for a very, very long time. I'm talking 3 frogs sitting on a lily pad saying, Bud, why, zer? That was the first video I ever viewed on the internet. That's a Budweiser commercial from the Super Bowl in the 90s. It took 3 hours. I think it might have been more than that, but it was at least 3 hours to download a 10-second commercial. And it was like 240p. That's how long I've been watching internet videos, and that is in my top 2. I think the next show, I think the next show is the Halloween show, right? Yeah, it must be. Because I'm going to take a little break and get some shit straightened out in my life now that I finally got this straightened out. And I'm going to end the next episode, the Halloween special Spooktacular, with my other favorite internet video that is perfect and synchronistic, just like that. I believe that will do it for today's show. I had a few people in here. Thank you guys who joined us. Thank you, Replay crew. You guys are the shit. Wow, almost 2 hours. I didn't look at the timer for quite a while. I tried to make it short, but didn't work out. Anywho, if you want to be updated on whether it'll be a Tuesday show or a Wednesday show going forward, follow x.com/defnotleft underscores between it all. So DEF_NOT_left. And I will be trying to update before I go live even. It's not going to be a blitz anymore. If I know what time I will be live by, I will tell you as soon as I know. And I will tell you about future shows. We have some things in the works on the back burner. I might be doing a very exclusive and, let's just say, rare interview with somebody here on the show. I don't know if and when that is going to happen. I have to talk to that person, but I'm just going to tease it just a little bit in case it never happens. Then I'll never mention it again. But do stay tuned if you're even a little entertained by all of this. Because, oh, wow. Yeah, do stay tuned because we got a lot of things coming. A lot of things coming up the pipe. Like I said, possible interview that will leave you stunned. I will let you know if and when that is secured. And then just a lot more stuff. I've mentioned I am good friends with some people who are really huge in this right-wing talking about culture and politics space. People who you would definitely know if I said their name, but I won't. But I think that once we get this thing off the ground, now that all the gears are working, we might be bringing some of that into it. Calling into shows, stuff like that. Just making it fun and mixing up throughout the whole scene here. So I think that's enough for me for today. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me here on Def Not Left. This has been the Race War episode, episode 18, second full episode that has ever streamed without dropping all the way through. And there will be many more. Replay crew, you guys are the best. Smash a subscribe, smash a like button, leave a comment. Share it with all your friends. Def_not_left on Twitter. I've been Jeff Not Left. This has been Def Not Left. I will be with you guys on Friday. Probably close to 7:30, 8:30, but I will let you know on X, formerly known as Twitter. Thank you very much once again. Good night. You guys are the shit. I'll see you very, very soon.